Here's your word for the day from Calvary in Lake Havasu. Visit us on the web at calvaryaz.com.
Well, hello. I'm Pastor Shawn. I get to work with all the students here at Calvary, and I have your word for the day. Today's passage is Mark 3, verses 22 through 27. You're welcome to turn there at any point, and I'm going to take a moment to read that right now. Let's go ahead and start in verse 22. But the teachers of religious law who had arrived from Jerusalem said, "He's possessed by Satan, the prince of demons. That's where he gets the power to cast out demons." Jesus called them over and responded with an illustration. "How can Satan cast out Satan?" he asked. "A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive. Let me illustrate this further. Who is powerful enough to enter the house of a strong man and plunder his goods? Only someone even stronger, someone who could tie him up and then plunder his house." You see, verse 22 starts with the teachers of religious law criticizing Jesus and saying, in fact, that he is the prince of demons or receives his power from the prince of demons. First of all, tune in tomorrow to find out why that's not a good idea. But the reality is they were doing what any other human would, and that is they're trying to make sense of something that didn't make sense to them. Why is this Jesus person able to heal and save all these people? Why and how can he free these people from spiritual oppression, spiritual imprisonment, addiction? Is this Jesus really who he says he is? You see, here's what I want us to learn. If we see Jesus working in people's lives, freeing people and breaking chains in this world, let's allow our response to instead of being critique, to then be set on glorifying God for that work happening. I have a hard time with how some churches operate, just to be honest, but I have to glorify God for the work Christ is doing in those churches. How terrible would it be to see God working in people's lives, changing hearts, changing minds, and then for me to go in there and work against that and shut that down. That's not my job in this kingdom. In fact, that's none of ours, actually. Let's continue on. Verse 23 through 26 can get a little confusing, and if you're not careful, I think you can misunderstand it, but I want to put it plainly as I possibly can. Let's read that again. Jesus called them over and responded with an illustration. "How can Satan cast out Satan?" he asked. "A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive." What's Jesus clearing up here? You see, this is what he's actually saying. He's saying that Satan isn't messing around. He isn't messing around. He is powerful. He is organized. He is precise. And he wants you to think otherwise. His role, Satan's role in this world is to kill, distract, divide, addict, destroy. He is very good at these things. And he really wants to take down every believer he comes across. Satan's okay with us misunderstanding his role and his ability in this world, but it seems Jesus doesn't want us to be confused. Satan is clearly gaining ground or has an ability to gain ground in this world, spread his kingdom of evil. But he doesn't want us to be confused about Satan. Jesus doesn't want us to be confused about Satan, so we aren't confused about who he is. Jesus isn't worried about how strong Satan is, and he wants to be real about who Satan is. Why? Because Jesus is stronger. It's not even a challenge. We have to be careful not to think of this as good versus evil. This isn't Jesus barely outclassing Satan, the strong man in this house, and sliding in a win here and there. No, Jesus is the strong man who goes into the kingdom of Satan, ties him up, binds him, hog-ties him, and then takes back the souls of the people that Satan has captured and imprisoned. It's in verse 27. Let me illustrate this further. He says, "Who is powerful enough to enter the house of a strong man, Satan that is, and plunder his goods? Only someone even stronger, someone who could tie him up and then plunder his house." Jesus goes in and he frees people from the satanic power of addiction, of hatred, of greed, of possession. Jesus heals people. He gives sight to the blind. He changes hearts. He saves the lost and imprisoned. Jesus comes in and is the creator of the universe and demolishes any strongholds that are set against his people. You see, Satan's not messing around, but neither is Jesus. And it's not a close battle. So here's the deal, Calvary. For us, we can live free from the things Satan tries to trip us up with because we live in Jesus' kingdom and he is so much more powerful. And on top of that, we can confidently point people who are addicted, hurting, lost, imprisoned to Jesus Christ because he is that mighty to save. Calvary, I hope you trust Jesus as your Savior in a deeper way today. Remember that Satan isn't messing around. Don't be confused about who he is. But know with a full heart that neither is Jesus. Jesus has you. He loves you. And so do I. Love you a lot, Calvary. We'll talk to you later.